Okay, FEC, good morning. So basically what's in an IV kit is you have two IVs, one small, one big, and they'll actually go in a bag along with Tegaderm, along with, what is this called?
Tourniquet.
A tourniquet, sorry. Along with tape, along with alcohol, along with gauze. You have your drip sheet for your patient, and you need your tubing, and your 10 ml syringe. So preferably a 20 gauge with like a 22 or an 18 gauge with a 22 will be fine. And then this is your standard IV kit. So when you get ready to start an IV, you'll take your standard IV kit, you'll grab a drop cloth, and on the counter over there we already have the ball. So we're gonna come over here and we have a willing participant to be stuck today called Rosemary. Let's go ahead and put your hand right up here, Rosemary. So now I'm going to take my IV kit out. There you go. Now the blue drape thing will end up going on the actual
You mentioned about
metal
certification.
table.
Where do you get certified?
Orlando Technical College, Kaiser,
To do what?
Florida Hospital IV
Yes.
certification with
With IV?
open and close. Yeah. So you put your tourniquet on the patient, have the patient squeeze the ball, and you feel for your vein. You may not see it, but you have to feel it. It feels like a rubber band underneath the skin. She got a nice big one right here. And this is time management skills. So we're gonna wipe with alcohol. While the alcohol is actually drying, we're gonna put our gloves on, and we are gonna get the air out of our tubing. So because she has a nice big vein, I'm gonna go ahead and use a 20 gauge. So your actual IV tubing is right here. And you're gonna take the cap off and the push and twist. And you get your air out like that. Now there's no air in the tube. To close the line, you're gonna clamp it off, okay? So the tube is ready to be inserted as soon as we get the IV in. Now I'm gonna get the Tegaderm ready. Okay, well, that didn't work out for me. So I got another Tegaderm, and I just leave it sticky side up. So let's get the IV. Go ahead and squeeze the ball for me. So you always want your bevel up on the IV. Bevel up is always gonna have your little tab upward right here. Feel for your vein. You're gonna go right in, hang in there. You see the blood return in the canister? Now you're gonna thread your IV with that little tab. So thread it forward. Once you thread that IV forward and the IV is plastic to skin, remove your tourniquet. Once your tourniquet is removed, you're gonna put your hand firmly on the IV plastic that's inserted and remove. Because this is a big vein, she's gonna drip. There you go, your IV has been inserted. You clean the patient off. There you go. And then you take your Tegaderm, stretch it, make sure that little tab is facing upward, not towards the patient's skin, so we don't cut them, because if it's in there for a while, it will bother them. And then you peel this part off, okay? Now I'm a fan of this, not this bigger tape, but the actual thin tape here. And this is why. I like to secure IVs that are placed into the AC, because it is kind of where the patient folds their arm. If I can you guys see it? Oh, I think I found it. There we go. Now we're cooking with grease here. All right, so we found the tape. And so I always tell people it kind of looks like a little Christian fish when I'm done with it. So it goes like this. And then I kind of put little tabs. And this just comes from experience. Why do you make little tabs? Well, it's a lot easier to grab that tab when you're pulling it off a patient. Okay? So then another little tab, and I put it on top. And then another little tab, and I put it on the bottom. So your IV has been secured and has been placed. So if your practitioner says that they want blood, you're going to flush it a little bit, pull it back. The IV is working. Clamp it off. You can actually remove it. If your practitioner says they want blood, you're going to have to discard the first 5 mLs of blood because we've flushed with saline, so it's going to be diluted blood. So you'll just attach a 5 cc, an empty syringe, pull back, discard, and then the other 2 that you pull back on can be used for patient samples and labs. And then you'll just tape this to the patient, or if the practitioner asks you for to start fluids, you'll actually get a drip line, attach it to the bag, and like that, start fluids. So as you can see, it has a safety mechanism here where it clamps off at the top, so there's no fear of being stuck. So this will actually go in the biohazard, okay? The proper removal of an IV is, let me get some gauze. When you're removing an IV, you kind of use the little tabs that you created, taking them off. This is why you make little tabs. And okay, so once I remove the IV, I get my tegaderm ready. I have my gauze in my hand already folded. And my tegaderm, I kind of, will size the patient up. So you take your hand, or you can kind of pull up on the IV a little bit. Hold the IV in place and peel the tegaderm off the patient, okay? You're gonna put the gauze on top here, and then you're gonna wrap with the Cobain. Once you wrap with Cobain, you get it nice and stuck to the patient real good. Press down where the gauze is, remove your IV. Your IV is in your glove. This is not biohazard, this is plastic. It's not dripping with blood, and it's not gonna contaminate anybody. Put it inside your glove, regular waste. You've just removed an IV the proper way. Okay? Questions? Kidding, joking.